Hello everyone.
Hi everyone. Whoa, wait a second here.
Clap. I was on the camera. There you go.
Hi everyone and welcome to the Survivor Series preview podcast here. I'm broadcasting live, as you can see, from the tech convention, because I not only have
the tech convention.
TET convention, I have the Undertaker's grandmother here with me. Ross, hello.
Before we came on air, we all agreed that we wouldn't reference the hat, and it would have been a funny thing that we didn't.
And I'm also joined by Joe Simkins, the Raw correspondent for WhatCulture.
Don't make up jobs like that. Raw correspondent.
He is, and he is repping Chris Jericho today with a Marks and Spencer's version of the scarf. Joe, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too, you part-timer.
Well,
One podcast in 3 weeks, Kenny, that's all I'm going to say.
I like to think if I'm the part-timer, I'm the Brock Lesnar of WhatCulture.com rather than the Triple H. That's what I like to think of it.
And I call bollocks.
Well, I mean, if we're being honest, I'm probably the Daniel Bryan. I keep trying to leave and I'm under contract, can't go anywhere.
It is nice to finally work with you in a semi-friendly capacity.
Semi-friendly. But I don't want to take over this proceeding. So you can lead all this, and I'm just going to stand here next to this and see what you get a pen for.
Just in case I need to stab you in the eye if you disagree with my opinions.
So,
I can't wait till later on you hit a really serious point in that hat and it just can't work.
So as my Scottish counterpart says, this is the Survivor Series pre-show podcast, and we are going to look at the final Big Four pay-per-view of 2016. And judging from the 3 previous Big Four pay-per-views, they need a good one here, don't they?
They do. Well, I thought SummerSlam was decent. I know a lot of people didn't like the Brock Lesnar Randy Orton finish. I quite liked it.
I liked it.
But
yeah.
AJ Styles, John Cena, Match of the Year candidate. I think they did well at SummerSlam. WrestleMania fell off a cliff after the women's match.
Yeah.
Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble's always fun. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people excited about Survivor Series. I've been talking to a lot of people, people in the streets, man of the people. And, well, it's actually Twitter, really, isn't it? We don't go outside.
That's the new street.
We're
just all hobbits on Twitter. But yeah, loads of people are excited about Survivor Series, intrigued by the stipulations and what's going to happen. So they've got all the ingredients for a good show.
They do. I think that this needs to be a big one. I wasn't a fan of the predictability of the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and the ending to SummerSlam sort of killed it for me. I'm really looking forward to this Survivor Series, but I feel the lack of stakes in this whole event kills some of the potential.
Their jobs might be on the line. They might not be, though, but they might be. She did mention it last week, but she didn't mention it again this week, so it might be. It might be not.
But what about the supposed superstar trade that was rumoured?
What are you laughing at?
That hat. It's just...
I just feel so
Coming
dead.
from you, Kenny.
Listen, this is the reason this hat is on is because when I come down to Newcastle, I don't want to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, I do have to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. If I got up at 6, I could do my hair. It's not right for you with your wee short tips in the top. You can just get up in the morning and go,
Nobody cares. End of the day, I look dainty. I feel like I could go to a 1920s swing and feel right at home.
What was it that somebody said on Twitter about your beard?
That it looked like you seen better beards on a 20-year-old Greek lady. Which it's had me triggered. Racism. 2016.
Anyway, instead of commenting on our facial and head hair, let's actually talk about some graps, some wrestling. Graps?
That's grapes and Geordie, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
May I get some graps?
Gonna get some graps.
If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, you are missing out on the facial expressions of all of us as we attempt to get through this together.
Anyway, let us move on to the first match of the evening. I'm going to open with the Intercontinental Championship match, which was going to be between Sami Zayn and Dolph Ziggler.
People are up in arms about
anymore.
this, and I know why it's not.
Why is it not? Educate us, Ross.
They put the belt on the heel because Sami Zayn might be Canadian and Survivor Series might be in Canada. Therefore, Miz gets more heat than he normally would, whereas you can't have them both cheering for Sami and Dolph. And Dolph would have got less of a cheer, meaning Sami, it just would have been a mess.
You're perspiring under that.
I know, yeah. I've just filmed it. I've just filmed a video. I just jump up and down and get all sweaty.
I'm eating a rich tea biscuit. We're just having a party here. I've said this for weeks. I think that it was the right decision to put the belt back on the Miz.
Yep.
Dolph Ziggler is good, and I think SmackDown has rejuvenated him, but I think that there's a limit to what he can do with the belt. I think the Miz can do more. I kind of think, I know it's kind of like a double prediction in one, but I think they're going to do either both changes or none in terms of Cruiserweight and IC. I think you're either going to get Sami and Kalisto, or you're going to get Miz and Kendrick.
The Miz on Tuesday night became the second, or has now held the Intercontinental title 6 times. The joint second most in the history of the title. Are they really going to take the title belt off him after 5 nights?
It depends. It depends what the plans are. You know, like Ross was saying, I think it will be a better match and it'll be better reactions from the crowd.
A better story, because it would have been a mess if it was Ziggler. It would have been a better match, bell to bell, but you would have the crowd.
But the face versus face dynamic sort of screws.
They wouldn't have known where to crap or wind their watch as Stone Cold Steve Austin so fondly says.
And you're compared to him quite a lot.
We are both. What's the thing he says?
What?
National treasures, national icons, and global icons and national treasures. Giants. Global icons and national treasures.
Back to you, Joe.
So
That was smooth.
if Zayn wins, the title goes over to Raw. Official predictions, gentlemen. Does he win it?
Yeah.
Ross, you're going with yes.
Zayn.
Kenneth.
I'm going with. I'm going to go with no. Actually, I think the Miz retains.
You think the Miz retains? I agree with Ross on this one. I think Sami Zayn is going to take a much-needed title win, and it will give him.
It's interesting as well, because then that leaves Raw with 2 secondary titles and SmackDown.
But here's the other thing to contrast what you were saying. You were saying, would they really take the belt off the Miz after 5 nights? Do we really want Sami Zayn's first Intercontinental Championship reign to be just from a sort of throwaway match that was put together? But like, Sami Zayn strikes me as the sort of person that, like, you really want to build a story for him to win his first title.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I think if you look at John Cena with the United States Championship and what he did with that belt last year, I think Sami could do something really similar. You know, be the fighting underdog champion.
See, I don't think he could, because the crowd just aren't invested in him. The casual audience, they're not.
But surely an Intercontinental title win on a Big 4 pay-per-view will help Sami in that end.
It's painful when you see him doing his big old "come on" the stairs, and you just look at the crowd behind him, and there's 3 people going "yeah." The rest of them are just sat there like, "There's Sami Zayn. He's a good wrestler, but why do we care about him? We don't know, because we're not smarks." You know what I mean? Those people that don't know the backstory, the ones that saw him debut in WWE, and that's all they know. They just don't care.
Yeah, well, people don't realise that, you know, on NXT you got about, I think the figures were about 500 to 700,000 people watching NXT television or NXT Takeover, and then up to 3.5 million, 4 million watch Raw. So that's like 2.5, 3 million people that maybe don't know him from previous stuff, and then they come to the because it's funny, because when you go to the arena sometimes there are people who just don't know who those people are. And I mean, we do obviously, but like, you're not always going to have a crowd. But then the Toronto crowd are probably going to be a relatively
that's the
smart
big thing, isn't it?
crowd.
That's why I think you'll win, even though Vince has now a track record of
screwing hometown people.
Do you know the thing is, I'm far more invested in the Miz and Sami Zayn than I was Dolph Ziggler and Sami Zayn. I think the Miz has been on fire this year. I would arguably say he deserves to be in the sort of Wrestler of the Year category in terms of an overall picture. He's got better in the ring. He's better on the mic. He has been killing it every time. And I think whether Sami wins or loses, at least a high-profile match like this will be good for him.
It's something that me and the two Adams were talking about a while ago. Zayn has the charisma that he can afford to lose a match and still come out of it looking good.
See what he did there? He brought up his Raw. Other Raw correspondents.
Well, we were on SmackDown and saying some similarly clever things.
Oh, okay.
Weren't we?
We were.
With James Dixon as well, and he knows more wrestling about.
Best-selling Amazon author.
James might know a lot more about wrestling, but at least I can speak English, King.
For those of us listening, Ross has walked momentarily from the podcast.
No, you need me. I'm the star. I'm the star here. I'm the one that brings in the ratings.
I was quite impressed with that, I'm not going to lie.
I genuinely thought he was leaving.
Right, we're going to move on to the Cruiserweight Championship match between Brian Kendrick and Kalisto. Now, from what I understand, has Kalisto blocked you on Twitter, Kenny?
It's old news, but yeah, he has. We all know the story. Kalisto has no sense of humour. My good friend Ross here, good long personal friend, long-time personal friend even, alerted
Long
me
as well, ladies.
If you can pull in that hat, I'll give you a 10. Anyway, Ross had alerted me to the fact that when Kalisto was feuding with Rusev, that Kalisto, the babyface, had put out a tweet to Rusev saying, "Lana's ugly and you're fat."
Ouch.
Because that's babyface stuff, right? And then
so.
Kalisto decided. So I then tweeted him a bit of banter, just going, "Listen, you wee prick, I've got Rusev's back, right?" It's clearly a bit of bants, and Kalisto blocked me because he has no sense of humour. And then, judging by SmackDown this week, he has no skill in the ring.
He fell off the
He
rope.
botched within a minute. And I'm not being funny, right? Like, I know mistakes happen and stuff, but like, there are so many guys who want to be in WWE and want to make it, and he's just not up to scratch. He botches too often. He can't cut a promo unless he's saying lucha things and runs away. I just think he's poor. Like, all joking aside, he's probably a good wrestler, but like, to me he's another like original Sin Cara. He's bombed.
His finisher makes no sense.
The guy needs to help him to do it.
Yeah. And when the impact happens, he lands on his arse just as hard as they land on their back.
Brian Kendrick and Kalisto have two very similar finishers. Kalisto has the Slater del Sol, and Kendrick's got the Captain Soup, but it used to be the sliced bread.
And then Kendrick has the personality, and Kalisto had.
But Kalisto's going to win.
I know. Well, I'm gonna say Kendrick here. I think I almost feel like it's too obvious that the cruiserweight division goes to SmackDown and that the IC goes to Raw. So I'm gonna. No, actually, you know what? I'm gonna just forget my own theory. Kalisto's probably gonna win because ultimately 205 Live is gonna be on Tuesday nights. They're gonna put the cruiserweights on SmackDown, but. This is the good thing about it. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't call it. I can't see the IC title being on Raw.
Not when the United States title's there as well.
But then I can't see SmackDown having the Cruiserweight and the US, the IC. So I don't know what's going to happen, folks. But I'm gonna go with Kalisto.
I feel like the storyline potential is vastly improved with Kendrick as the champion, and therefore the Cruiserweights either staying on Raw, or maybe Stephanie just telling them, you know what, you've helped us win overall. Have your 205 Live show.
It's going to be interesting either way because they do go to SmackDown. Are they going to have one cruiserweight segment like they do on Raw 2 with a higgledy-piggledy six-man tag as well? And then 205 Live as well, which is like an hour in itself. Or are they going to just cut them separate altogether?
What's the odds of how long they let 205 Live run right after SmackDown?
I don't know.
Because I think that you got about 2 weeks.
Do you think it changes to maybe like a Thursday night where there isn't?
I think it's got to change to them recording it before SmackDown, because when you go to a live show, like at the end of SmackDown, you can't give away all the big names.
Yeah.
Finish the show and then expect people to stick around for what is essentially kind of prelim matches. It's like would you watch Conor McGregor face Eddie Alvarez and then watch a prelim after it?
No, absolutely not.
You go home.
You would.
That will bomb. So I think the show's a good idea, but I think I don't see any reason why they couldn't record it before SmackDown, which is when the fans are going to be most invested. They're in the building, they're excited, they're waiting for SmackDown. It's like when I was at Raw in Glasgow, people were like popping over a Bo Dallas and Darren Young match. Not because they gave a crap about either of them, but because they were excited that Raw was coming on.
Yeah.
Do it afterwards, lame duck.
Lame duck.
We shall see how this all plays out. Let's move on to the Survivor Series elimination matches, and we're going to start with the 10-on-10 tag team division
Bit of an orgy,
elimination match. Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. And I'm not going to name all the competitors because...
You can't. Can you?
American Alpha.
I have the match card in front of me.
Can I try and do it? American Alpha, the Usos, the Hype Bros, Heath Slater and Rhino, and... American Alpha, Usos, Heath Slater and Rhino, Hype Bros, and Freeze Bango. Or Breezango even. Against the New Day, Cesaro and Sheamus, Enzo and Cass, the Club, and unfortunately, the Shining Stars.
I share your sentiments on that, unfortunately.
I don't mind them, they've got nice
Shining
music.
Stars.
It makes it feels warm.
I love their music.
I don't give a toss about music.
Whoa, what happened here?
Well, definitely not the shining stars, at least.
Music is the key, as we've seen in WCPW. Grado didn't commit to Like a Prayer. Look what happened, he's not been back.
Oh! Oh!
Fitzy's is the best. It fits his character so well.
Boom!
You have it.
Is
Get
this,
up, get come on, sing along. Get up, get
is
up.
this match
Boom!
too full, essentially? How do
No,
they clear
because
this match out?
when a pinfall happens, that team is eliminated.
So it's the whole team going?
They're cleared up on SmackDown this week. So that's something in its corner. It's not just going to be one kick to the face. You're out there, son.
As the elder statesman of this group, I do feel that we should talk about the fact that at the 1988 Survivor Series, they did do a 10 tag team elimination match like this. And the tag teams there were a lot more legendary than these ones. They had like the Heart Foundation, Demolition, the Rougeaus, the Bulldogs.
Sorry to interrupt, Kenny. Is this the first time since then they've done this?
Yep. I think so. I think as a 10 tag team match, yeah. But
Yeah.
I think it's cool for people today. Like kids can now get to see this kind of thing. It'll be a cool concept to see like 20 guys in the ring. The one thing I want to see from it is I want to see a focus on American Alpha, because they are the best tag team out of all 10 tag teams. And I really want Breezango to hand out some Uggo slips to the Shining Stars.
Who benefits?
You're a bully and a racist.
Base Star.
2016, I'm triggered.
Who in this match?
You're not really. I don't mean that.
Who in this match will benefit the most?
The Kamala Kamala thing.
SmackDown are having their own little
Sorry.
conversation here. Thanks, guys.
He called me a racist once.
You're Scottish. Deal with it. Oh.
Wait, so you were just racist. Anyway, I'm not going to... Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Simkins.
Once upon a time, I saved Kenny's job. That's the only thing I've got to say.
The thing is, I can't say on here what it was because he will then get outraged. But it was not that bad.
Anyway, which team benefits the most from being a sole survivor in this match? Because I feel like it's coming down to just one team.
American Alpha.
You feel it's American Alpha?
100%.
Gotta be.
I feel it's the club. I feel the club, after the piss poor ball aching run that they've been on. That's funny because they talk about testicles.
I can't get the image out of my head of Luke Gallows attempting to put the pumpkin on his head and continuing to not be able to as he got pinned.
You know Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? 1 step forward and 2 steps back. The song that was on there.
Right.
1 step forward and 2 steps back. That's the club.
It makes me sad to see what's happened to the club. They've gone from G1 Climax winners 3 years ago.
So
World Tag League, I should apologise.
Be an anti-climax if they win this.
I feel like that sets them up to take the titles from the New Day when the Demolition Record comes.
They've been beaten by the New Day about 6 times.
But they have a pinfall victory over the New Day now.
They do, but I think American Alpha are just a much better... I think the New Day are drastically outstaying their welcome at the moment. I think their material's not as good as it used to be. I think American Alpha need it more, to be honest. And I think that American Alpha, like the SmackDown Tag Team division, isn't as strong in terms of name value as the Raw one. And I think that American Alpha need the win more than they can fix the club on Raw. But I think the American Alpha, it'd be good to see them on a big pay-per-view in Toronto, winning the match.
So you're going with SmackDown winning this match?
I think SmackDown win this one. Yeah.
Ross, do you agree?
I concur.
Are you saying that sticking together, are we now, boys?
No, that's just what I want to see. American Alpha have quickly just become another tag team, rather than just. What are you laughing at?
It's the hat. Honestly, if you listen to this on SoundCloud, just turn on the YouTube video for 5 minutes. It is he has turned into the Undertaker's grandmother, and I don't know what to do
like
about
a dainty Fagin. That was Fagin, a dainty Fagin
from Oliver. Yeah,
from Oliver. I'm just saying a naughty.
More?
No, that was the.
I know, but that was
from Oliver, yeah.
But you're going with.
I've had to pick
SmackDown.
a pocket or two. That man.
Artful Dodger.
Ouch. You're going with SmackDown, Ross. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with my guys. I'm going to go with Raw, and I'm going to say that the club will cost the New Day their place in the match, and then go on and win it.
I will give you £5. You don't even need to make a bet.
I mean, I'm not going to.
I will give you £5 of the Club of the Soul Survivors.
Bloody hell! Inside the roast must be going well. £5.
5 ducats.
£5 whole pounds.
That's five times the amount of money I've had for the t-shirts. So
you've just sworn. You've just sworn. Now Joe's going to have to sit there and watch this all back and pick out your little F word there, you naughty man.
You wanker.
Well, you need to blame the t-shirt. 20 minutes in, you can get it. It's fine. Don't worry.
Oh, thanks. Let's move on to the women's Survivor Series match.
Look at this. It's happened again. Every bloody time.
You may as well.
Well, wait a minute. You just said bloody. He'll need to go back now and take that.
The words you can't have in videos is S, F, and C.
Ross, you may as well just say them because he's already sworn. I may as well go through the whole.
That's all you can say. The rest of them is fair game.
Right, on a crap table with a swearing Scotsman and a Geordie that looks like the Undertaker.
He swore 3 times as much as me.
I've just said a man that looks like the Undertaker's nan.
Okay,
Let's move on to the women's Survivor Series
I do
match.
feel quite bad that you're having to sort of chair this because it's a shambles. We need to take this more seriously, Ross.
I've just cut a promo on Jim Cornette. That's why I'm a bit giddy.
The women's Survivor Series match, Raw versus SmackDown.
A good wee build to this in SmackDown.
Yes, the
No.
whole week.
It was Bailey being a heel. I don't want to see that.
Right, the Bailey thing I grant you is the problem, but the pros from that segment are the fans were really into the invasion.
They were.
You had Charlotte and Nikki having a good brawl. People
did.
were into it. Nikki on Talking Smack, half her tooth was chipped off. She looks a bit more like she's
Really?
actually trying.
Ooh.
John will never marry her now.
You have Nia Jax bombarding it through the
For the
the
third
barrier.
time, it's just been called up.
Still.
It's getting a bit old now, that.
Still, it's brand warfare, fantasy warfare.
But I just don't like the
Gone
way
new.
every single storyline's just been whooshed to the side for 1 week. It's counterproductive. It really is.
So you're predicting on Monday night after Survivor Series is over, they're gonna one side's gonna go, yeah, we win. By the way, I want your championship in your head.
The thing is, I don't get why that's such a hard theory. Like on Talking Smack, they had all the women from SmackDown. They were asking them about, teaming together. And Alexa Bliss said, well, we still have our issues, but we need to come together for Survivor Series because
Why do they need to, though?
Because they want their
apart
brand.
from the Raw men's.
If their brand become bigger than the other brand, there's more merch, there's more money, there's more
That's all
ratings.
between the lines. We're
No.
We're wrestling fans, Kenny. We are thick as SHIT. They need to do a Stephanie McMahon and say it. I think the people watching this video will have read between the lines like that, like me and you have there.
Probably not.
Exactly.
Does this match come down to the two captains, Nikki Bella and Charlotte? After that really started the brawl on Monday night, didn't it? Or Tuesday, I should say. Sorry. So does it come down to the two captains?
It'll be interesting to see what Sasha does with Charlotte, how that interaction goes, who takes the lead and whatnot.
I think the Raw team are going to win. I think that Charlotte will be the one to get the victory, but I think Nia Jax will also still be there.
So you don't think there's a sole survivor in this match?
Nope.
Does Dana Brooke get involved? Does Natalya get involved?
Yes. And you see a nice sharpshooter with a whistle. I can't whistle, so that's that. Screwed. And I can't do it. There you go. Bit of a whistle.
What was that?
It's a whistle.
I know, what tune was it?
Just a whistle. There's no tune intended. I could do the Undertaker's tune to whistle. I could try.
Go on then.
No, I won't do it because Joe's done it. It's fine. Ruin my gimmick. Fine. There you go. Move on. Back to your podcast.
Are there any dynamics that we would like to see, like cross-brand dynamics in this match?
Fair play to SmackDown though, because I know Mick Foley had said on the State of WWE address thing that how can you have a women's team without Natalya on it, and that is true. But I would argue that Natalya, if she was in the team, people wouldn't really care because Natalya's not really done much. Whereas her with this kind of quirky coach thing where she's got the whistle and stuff, and then she's now quoting 90s music and stuff.
That I like.
It's pretty funny. So I feel like her on the outside to counter Dana Brooke allows for a fun moment where Dana Brooke will essentially get involved. Natalya will do a wee sharpshooter on the outside. Fun angle.
I'd much rather Natalya have the whistle gimmick than the fart gimmick that she had a few years ago.
She still walks around like she's holding him on though. When she's walking down the ramp. If there was more room here, demonstrate.
Anyway, official predictions. You have gone with Raw with Charlotte and Nia Jax staying.
Nia.
I think Raw will win as well.
Any particular survivors?
Charlotte.
Charlotte?
She's the best, isn't she?
Is that it?
She is the long term. Forget about Sasha. Charlotte's the money.
Does she
Charlotte
Charlotte
versus Ronda.
Now that would be money.
Well, no, don't make it Stephanie versus Ronda. Let's be honest. I'll take my comeuppance from somebody as long as she's a UFC fighter that can make me money.
I think I'm going to go for the hat-trick. I'm going to go with Raw. But I think Bayley stays. I think Charlotte and Bayley survive. And that plants the seeds for the match at WrestleMania. Because I think that's going to be the women's title match at WrestleMania. I think it's going to be Charlotte versus Bayley. And I think the seeds get planted
How does
tonight.
Becky get eliminated then? That's something we haven't thought of.
I think she submits to
keep-
Charlotte.
Oh, I don't think it'll be that severe.
That's a Raw opinion, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
It's not a
That's someone that
SmackDown
doesn't
opinion.
watch the SmackDown, you know. Someone who's
It's
not.
going to be interesting to see the two champions, especially when Lynch isn't captain of her team.
That's
She's a junkyard dog.
That's a mess.
She is
That.
the JYD.
She said it on Talking Smack. She said the junkyard dogs are going after it.
Good.
And obviously we've got the Survivor Series main event going to take place. Well, two main events. The first one, Kenny, I'm going to come to you first. Team Raw, Team SmackDown, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins representing Raw against Team SmackDown, AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and of course Shane McMahon with James Ellsworth as the mascot. What is going to happen when these brands collide? Brand warfare. What are you looking at me like that for? Can't take me seriously in this lovely hat that I have.
You look dainty.
Thanks, mate.
Beautiful.
Nice hat, Joe.
Thank you very much. I got it from Primark. I want to see. Oh,
What happened?
ouch! I want to see James Ellsworth get absolutely crushed by Braun Strowman.
It's a shame.
I
What has
am-
he ever done?
Admittedly, I am not the biggest Ellsworth fan.
He's just being rubbish, hasn't he?
Chin
But the fact that no chin music is the biggest draw on SmackDown is
What? The biggest draw on SmackDown? Here's this man that doesn't watch SmackDown coming to the fore once again.
Exactly. I concur. So you want to see the mascot being killed?
I want to see the mascot.
Anything
being
in the match
murdered.
that you want to see with the actual wrestlers?
Bray versus Strowman, I think. Strowman, I should say.
Bray versus Strowman.
Balls. I want to see Bray versus Braun with their little face off. I don't want to see Braun Strowman get pinned. I don't think a pin helps his case. And I really want it to come down to the two champions. I want it to come down to Owens and Styles.
So who's going to win? What is the victor? What is the victor? Who is the victor even?
And you're slating my words.
Sorry, I need to work on my security guard standing. Hold on.
Ooh, and I need to work on being a Scottish prick. But
It comes easily, don't worry. Hang about with Ross.
Just be nice.
Ross just likes to
I
do his jobbers.
really want to see a stand-up performance, probably from Styles. Like maybe Styles eliminates 3 or 4 of the team. I think SmackDown wins it because I think they need it more. And I'm gonna go with Styles as the sole survivor.
Okay. I have a contradictory opinion to that, but I'm going to go to you first.
No, I want to hear your contradictory opinion.
I think AJ Styles is going to walk out on his Survivor Series team when they are about to win. I think he's going to walk out. I think what it leads to is he's going to beat Dean Ambrose at TLC, and then I think
He's going to face
Somebody's gonna come
your
back.
husband.
somebody's going to come back and face my grandson, The Undertaker, at the Royal
Husband
Rumble.
and grandson, that's a weird
And
dynamic.
I think that at the Royal Rumble, The Undertaker is going to beat AJ Styles to become the WWE World Champion. And I think at WrestleMania, John Cena is going to go for 16 times against The Undertaker.
So here's
at
one for you,
WrestleMania.
Mrs. Calloway.
Uh-huh.
If you think Styles versus Undertaker happens,
Yes.
what happens to the potential Styles versus Michaels match?
I don't think it's going to
You
happen.
don't think it's going to happen at all? Not even in Michaels' hometown?
Nope. I think if he was going to do something, he probably would have done it by now.
Even though he's now the head of the performance centre. Will you stop falling over
This table is...
I mean, it's very hard, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on YouTube, for me to make a point here in any way, seriously. But I think the thing is, when he came back on SmackDown, The Undertaker, and he gave that kind of, failure, you'll have to answer to the dead man.
The Freddie Blassie thing.
Well, apart from the fact that when Freddie Blassie did it, he was 92 years old and there was no threat of a WrestleMania match coming.
But The Undertaker's 92 as well, and his legs are full enough.
But listen,
That's what the internet tells you.
What's good is that it seems like he's coming back for a small,
See, I think he'll
more
be...
regular run.
But it seems like it.
I think my prediction that he'll be in the match is still going to happen because I am stubborn.
Do you think Shane...
He will be
almost
there on
dies?
Sunday in some
But here's the
capacity.
thing. If he was going to come out on SmackDown, I don't think he would have done the whole, failure, answer to the dead man, unless something was going to come from that. I think of all the 5 guys in the ring, he's done the Shane thing, he's done the Bray thing, he's done the Orton thing. You're left with Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles. I think people want to see AJ Styles and Undertaker in a match.
Yeah.
I think it'll be the first match since Punk that Undertaker's actually had a chance to really show what he's all about. So I think that the survivors are going to be Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho.
You think the two best
Best friends.
The best friend squad.
And he hits a code breaker on him, eh?
No,
Not a power bomb onto the
WrestleMania
apron.
program, mate. Don't you be rushing it?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it
because
is.
Finn's gonna come back and Owens is gonna face Finn in the main event when Finn wins the
In
Royal
the main
Rumble.
event.
When Finn wins the Royal Rumble. Well, the co-main event, because Taker's last match at WrestleMania will be the main event.
A lot being banded about here. Ross, what do you think is going to happen on Sunday? 10-man tag.
It's called an opinion, Kenny. We're all entitled to one.
We are. We've all got arseholes
Opinions,
well.
as we all know, are like arseholes.
Everyone's
We all
everyone's
have
got one. Our English is shh. It's bad today, isn't it?
SmackDown will win.
Right.
Styles will not do what you did. Styles will win it for
I didn't
SmackDown.
do anything. I didn't turn on SmackDown. I'm the only person fighting the corner for SmackDown.
Styles will not do what you said he would do.
To be fair,
Styles will win the match for SmackDown by beating my boy, Kevin
My
Owens.
boy. As Jim Barnett would say.
Soul Survivor.
AJ Styles.
Who thinks? Wow, Ross agrees with me on that one.
It's a dark day for the World Wrestling Fit. No, it's a dark day for us. So the main event of the show, the one that everybody's building up, is Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. Fantasy Warfare, come alive. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, one more time. Ross, I'm coming to you first.
I think we're going to see a very different Bill Goldberg because he does all of the Muay Thai. I said Muay Thai because I'm a Geordie in a video once and I got slaughtered for it.
Also,
so all of
Goldberg
them,
wrestles cows.
the Muay Thai. He wrestles cows.
Muay Thai. This is why I'm not a comedian.
You
King,
are not
do
getting
not
out of
walk
this.
out
I
again.
need to wear this monstrosity. You're not getting out.
I think we're going to see a period of time early on in the match where Goldberg wrestles circles around B-Rock Lesnar. That is my prediction, but ultimately Brock will come back and beat him.
Joseph Simkins of Simkins fame.
Kenneth, if you ever call me Joseph again, I will shove that hat so far up your arse. You'll be tasting fabric.
See, that's why you don't make it big with an attitude like that. You need to be proactive. You need to be take things as they come.
I wouldn't mind if my name wasn't.
Or just nobody cares about this rivalry between podcast hosts because, you know,
There's no rivalry.
there's no rivalry there.
I agree with Ross again. I think Goldberg will outshine Brock at the start of the match.
It's going to be a shock, I think.
I want
Big
the
shock.
brawl. I want the brawl to go outside. I want it to be all over the arena because let's put it this way: the refs are going to tell either of these two not to hit each other with everything that they can see. I think Brock probably suplexes Goldberg a dozen times. Maybe only one variation, but the suplex, yes,
That's me yawning.
It's tiring, but ultimately, I think it makes more sense for the guy who's going to show up more often to get the victory. So my official prediction with an F5 is Brock Lesnar.
I think Brock's going to win.
Can we entertain the possibility that Heyman might turn on Brock at Survivor Series again?
No.
I don't think it would be with Goldberg. If it was somebody else, you could have that happen. But I do think though that this is not going to be the last time you see Goldberg in WWE. The build's been great for him. They've managed to capture the WCW essence of him in a way. People are really behind him, so I think that could be interesting. But I do have a train to catch this, so we're going to just do some quick
Who
fan
do you think is
questions.
going to win?
Brock Lesnar. I think he's going to take it. But I would concur with you that I think Goldberg will put in a good shift before he is defeated.
I've got one. A quick question before we go on to it. What are your views on Goldberg potentially being injured? For people who read WhatCulture's articles on the website, there's a possibility that Goldberg is going into this match nursing a shoulder injury.
We should just mention that isn't WhatCulture's official story.
What's WhatCulture's official story?
Nothing, we just copied it from somebody else.
But
If you read our complete
It's a
original analysis,
It's a slight
articles.
niggle to his right shoulder, isn't it, or something like that?
yeah, apparently he pulled it or something in the.
I was on the phone to
Lesnar.
Bill on Tuesday. He let me know what was happening, so I passed it on to somebody, and it's been written. So
The man with the connections, Mr. McIntosh.
So let's go to a couple of audience questions. This is an iPad that I don't know how
So
to
just
work, so
we
we're
don't think anything of that because Kenny just skipped over it completely. So there you go.
I think he's fine.
Yeah, so do I. I think he's all right.
Tweaking his shoulder. It's Goldberg. He's doing Survivor Series. Like Joe Coffey is an example. Joe Coffey is
Oh,
going.
it's his leg.
Joe
Yeah.
Coffey's going to face Kurt Angle this Sunday, and he's putting pictures on Twitter of his ankle that's swollen.
It's above his knee.
No, his ankle. As well.
It's
It
all
goes
the way
all
down.
the way down.
It's all the way down his leg.
Animal.
And he's still wrestling, so I mean, we're not all going to be Sin Cara when we get a staved finger. We try to stop a match.
Ouch.
Sean Lindsay, big fan of Sean's. I like his egg that he's got on Twitter. He says, will Triple H get involved in the main event, Ross? Will Triple H get involved? I assume he means in the 10-man tag.
Yeah, maybe. I still want to know why he chose Kevin Owens.
I think he gets rid of Rollins. I can see it being 2-1 to Raw. Rollins and Owens versus Styles. I can see Rollins getting ready to take the victory prior, like following a ref bump, and Triple H coming in and getting rid of Rollins to leave Owens versus Styles.
That is just. Well, why did you choose Kevin Owens? Why hasn't this been answered yet? 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line.
It's a very fair question.
I want to know that before he gets involved in anything else. The swine.
Okay. What else have we got? Bob.
Hi,
says, hi, folks. Everyone asks what you would change about WWE. I want to know what you would keep the same about the current product. What do you like that they're doing right now that you want to see more of?
NXT.
What? Oh no, Joe! You don't watch it, do you?
Can I finish? The talent that are in NXT. I think, if I'm not mistaken, one of NXT's major writers has gone to SmackDown now.
Ryan. What's he called?
Ryan Ward.
But I think the pulling power that WWE have is brilliant. You look at some of the talent that's come over in the last year, the likes of Shinsuke Nakamura, Roderick Strong, Austin Aries, Bobby Roode. I think the talent that they have in NXT is great. They need to just continue that, but with the women's side of things, especially in NXT.
I think the show's been dire for the last couple of months. Like, I think it's really
my favourite thing is SmackDown being 2 hours. You have a whale of a time on watching that.
But here's the thing, do you know what's interesting? Is usually when we get to these type of shows, like imagine like SummerSlam with Brooklyn, everybody was talking about TakeOver. Hardly anybody was talking about SummerSlam. Now, everybody's talking about Survivor Series. Nobody this week has said to me, "Oh, you look forward to TakeOver."
I haven't watched NXT since Brooklyn. I've not thought, "Oh, I need to see this."
NXT TakeOver moment's coming as well.
Yeah.
Got a fun Saturday
That'll
for
be
you.
a fun watch.
For those of you who can't see, Ross has just nearly gone.
I'm getting sick of it.
Arse over tits with this
Put
poor
my hands
table.
on this chair instead. I like some fiddle, you know.
Paddy Podbury says,
That's not his real name.
shocking.
It's a work.
Do you think, Ross, anyone will run in on the SmackDown Raw men 5 vs 5 match? Joe thinks that Triple H will cost Rollins. Do you see any interference from anybody?
If anybody, that's it, isn't it? There's no other.
Potentially Taker if he's not involved in the match.
That's the other one, isn't it? So there is 2. Yes, Undertaker. Because, of course, he will be involved in that match because if something well on the line, Shane McMahon will be written out of it. And
Cabiak wants to know...
I blocked him.
Have you? Why? What did he do?
He did something. Everyone who gets blocked deserves it. And then I think that's him that made the Martin Kirby Pro Wrestling picture. I uses my cover
Twitter
photo of the book, yeah.
So you blocked him and used his photo?
You stole the photo.
Mugged him right off, didn't he? He got his mate to tweet about it saying, "Oh, you know who made that?"
Do you guys think there's any chance of Shane getting involved in the Brock Goldberg match, or would Brock maybe get involved in is there something going to happen with Brock and Shane, do you think?
For me, no, because Brock goes on last. I think if the men's match had gone on last, I think Brock could have come in and cost Shane his fall.
But if Shane is somehow written out of the Survivor Series match and Taker takes his place, then that leaves that possibility open. I should really work for WWE.
But if Shane gets involved, does that not mean that Goldberg's going over Lesnar again? And no one wants to see Goldberg.
I don't want to see
over
Lesnar
again.
versus Shane. Don't want to.
No.
We have a tweet here from Muhammad who says, "Why Kenny is her?" So Muhammad, first of all, you can't write. That's a problem that you have. And second of all, you know, this is what I don't understand, right? If you watch videos on YouTube or whatever, why would you, like, I wouldn't watch a video on, like, I wouldn't go, "Oh, Celine Dion, I drive all night." I'll put that on and then go, "Wait a minute, this is Celine Dion, I drive, no Celine, no view," or whatever. Like, you know, these people that put left, it's not the person they want on it. Like, just don't watch it. Who cares? The last one I'm going to give from Broken Rushy, and he wants to know, do you think Samoa Joe will debut at all over the weekend, whether it be Survivor Series, Raw, or SmackDown? And if not, when do you think he debuts? Ross, go first.
Night after Mania. He will be the next man for B-Rock Lesnar after Mania.
Joe?
I would like to see him debut the night after Survivor Series. So I'm going to go with Raw. I think Samoa Joe makes sense as the next guy for Brock Lesnar. I can imagine Brock coming out and gloating about his victory over Goldberg, and Samoa Joe...
You can imagine Brock doing that?
Well, Paul Heyman gloating for Brock.
That's better, Joe. That's better.
Who knows? Brock may get on the mic at some point, you know. Heyman may let the chains...
He don't give a shit about your kids.
But I don't think it makes sense for him to debut at Survivor Series. I don't think there's anything obvious for him to walk straight into, whereas if he debuts the night after, he's got a gift-wrapped feud with Brock Lesnar going into WrestleMania.
So is him losing to Shinsuke Nax a given?
I think so.
Jinx does rub that magic. Neither you can talk.
Sorry, what? What was that all about?
That's how it works, isn't it, Jinx? You had to touch with black magic.
It's a Northeast thing. You wouldn't understand.
Boots and rats and boots and cats and bardy bar.
Boots and cats and boots and rats and body bar. Northeast trance. Buzzcocks.
With that in mind, I think Samoa Joe, whenever he debuts, should debut on SmackDown, because SmackDown is the magical place where stories take place. Raw is sadly where the moments take place rather than stories.
It's an advertisement, Raw.
But
one big advert.
With a 3 hour and 15-minute advert. So thanks for watching. If you watched on YouTube, thanks for listening. If you've been on SoundCloud or iTunes, Ross, where can people find you on Twitter?
At Ruttasussa, Ruttasussa, let it know.
And if somebody has been blocked by you, is there ever any hope of an unblock?
Nope.
Joe, where can people find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at the Joe Simkins.
Great.
With
so
no P.
With no P. Simkins.
Joe
Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next
Whoa,
week.
Kenny, where can we find you on Twitter?
I don't want you to find me. Thank you. Goodbye. See ya.
I will delete WCPW. It's over!